Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real, something honest, something grown folks need to hear. Men are loyal to only one thing, not two, not five, not 10, and that one thing isn't what people always think it is. See, you can't force a man to be loyal. You can't talk him into loyalty. You can't threaten him into loyalty. A man is only loyal to what he believes gives his life meaning, that one thing that makes him feel alive, responsible, and anchored. A man isn't loyal to people first. He's loyal to whatever gives his life direction, purpose, and identity. This truth might sound simple, but it's deep, and it explains more about men than most conversations ever do. A man's loyalty doesn't begin with emotions or relationships. It begins with what he believes makes him feel like he matters. From the time a boy grows into a man, the world teaches him that his value is tied to what he can stand for, what he can build, and what he can protect. So loyalty becomes a commitment to the thing that shapes him, the thing that centers him, the thing that gives his spirit structure. When a man hasn't discovered that purpose, you'll see it in his actions. He drifts, he wanders, he attaches himself temporarily to people, jobs, or situations, but nothing sticks because loyalty requires a foundation, and without purpose or identity, a man is walking on sand. But when he finds that one thing, that mission, that calling, that responsibility, everything about him changes. His discipline tightens, his focus sharpens, his energy resets. He becomes consistent in ways he never was before because he finally has something worth staying true to. This is why a man who is loyal to his purpose will sacrifice comfort. He'll wake up early, work late, and grind even when he's tired because his purpose feeds his identity. It tells him who he is. When a man finds something that anchors him, it becomes the compass that guides every choice he makes, from his relationships to his habits to the way he treats people. Loyalty isn't just about standing by someone. It's about standing by the version of himself he is trying to become. When it comes to relationships, this key becomes even clearer. A man cannot be loyal in love if he isn't loyal to himself first. If he hasn't defined what kind of man he wants to be, he won't know how to show up consistently for someone else. But when a man has purpose, he becomes loyal to the things and people who align with it. That's why a good woman becomes powerful in his life, not because she demands loyalty, but because she supports the identity he's trying to grow into. A man is drawn to anything that strengthens his character. If a woman helps him feel more focused, more responsible, more courageous, then loyalty becomes natural, not forced. Many people misunderstand men because they watch their words but ignore their devotion. A man may say he'll change, say he'll improve, say he'll stay, but unless those promises connect to something he believes defines him, those words evaporate. If his identity is attached to the wrong thing, like ego, comfort, or attention, then his loyalty will follow those things too. But when his loyalty is attached to purpose, he becomes reliable, disciplined, and present. So to truly understand a man, watch what he consistently prioritizes. That's where his loyalty lies, Once a man identifies the thing that gives his life meaning, he will defend it, protect it, and commit to it with everything in him because it becomes the core of who he is. A man's loyalty is never revealed by what he says. It's revealed by what his heart truly values, and that value shows itself in his actions long before it shows up in his promises. Words are easy for anybody, but loyalty is a reflection of a man's inner priorities. When a man is loyal to something, it is because deep inside, he has decided that this thing is worth the energy, worth the time, worth the sacrifice. People often think loyalty is about morals or rules, but for a man, loyalty is about the emotional investment he makes in what matters to him. His behavior naturally gravitates toward the things he values most. If his heart values peace, he'll avoid anything that threatens his peace. If he values growth, he'll show up for challenges that push him higher. If he values a person, he will protect that bond like it's part of his identity. This is why a man can say he loves someone but still not give them loyalty. Love is a feeling, but loyalty is a decision. Loyalty is the commitment to remain present even when the feeling fluctuates. If the feeling is strong, but the value is weak, loyalty won't stand. A man may feel attracted, attached, or emotionally connected to someone, but unless he values them deeply, he won't rearrange his actions for them. Loyalty lives in behavior, not in emotion. You can hear a man say he cares, but you understand his priorities when you see what he continues to show up for. If it's important to him, his consistency will prove it. You can look at a man's daily life and instantly see what he truly values. The things he protects, the things he invests in, the things he refuses to let go of, those are the things his heart is loyal to. If he values success, he'll sacrifice sleep to chase it. If he values respect, he'll carry himself in a way that earns it. And if he truly values a woman, he will adjust his habits, guard the relationship, communicate honestly, and prioritize her presence because he sees her as part of his future, not just part of his day. Men don't give loyalty to things that don't hold meaning for them. A man may stay in a situation physically, but not be loyal to it emotionally. Presence is not proof of loyalty. Consistency is. Loyalty shows up when a man chooses the same person, same purpose, same direction day after day, even when it's not convenient. And this consistency is fueled by what he values, not by pressure or expectation. When a man doesn't value something, excuses grow. But when he does value it, effort grows. This is why loyalty becomes the mirror of a man's heart. It shows what matters to him without him ever needing to say it. You can trust a man's patterns much more than his promises. Promises are made with the mouth. Loyalty is made with the soul. A man is loyal to what shapes him, strengthens him, and gives him a sense of purpose. Loyalty reveals a man's truth even when words try to hide it. When a man finds something worth protecting, whether it's love, dignity, or legacy, his entire behavior shifts, and the change is not subtle. It's noticeable in the way he carries himself, in the priorities he sets, and in the choices he makes daily. Men are natural protectors, not just in the physical sense, but in the emotional and spiritual sense as well. When something matters deeply to a man, he does not wait for it to be threatened before showing loyalty. He makes a quiet, internal commitment. This is valuable to me, and I cannot afford to lose it. That mindset completely transforms how he moves in life. A man who has found something worth protecting automatically becomes more focused, responsible, and intentional because he recognizes that what he treasures demands a better version of him. You can see the difference between a man who is drifting and a man who is guarding something meaningful. The drifting man is distracted, inconsistent, and easily influenced. But the man who is protecting something operates with clarity. He starts making long-term decisions instead of impulsive ones. He pays attention to the small details because he knows small mistakes can cost big things. He becomes careful with his words, his actions, and even the company he keeps, because anything that threatens what he values becomes unacceptable to him. He is not protecting it out of fear, but out of devotion. He wants to preserve it, nurture it, and build around it. In relationships, this truth becomes even more powerful. When a man sees a woman as worth protecting, the relationship becomes sacred to him. He stops entertaining anything or anyone that can jeopardize it. He becomes transparent, present, and accountable because he sees her as part of his identity and part of his future. He listens differently, shows up differently, and loves differently. Love becomes more than an emotion. It becomes a responsibility. He defends her peace, supports her dreams, and places their bond in a space where disrespect cannot reach. He does this not because she asks, but because he recognizes her value. A man protects what he believes is part of his purpose. The same applies to dignity and legacy. When a man decides that his dignity is worth protecting, he won't allow himself to be pulled into situations that compromise his character. He walks away from chaos, refuses to betray himself, and sets boundaries that keep him aligned with who he wants to be. If he decides his legacy is worth protecting, he thinks deeper about the impact he is making. He avoids temporary pleasures that can destroy long-term goals. He focuses on what builds his name, not what entertains his time. Protection is the ultimate display of loyalty because it comes with sacrifice. It means putting aside ego, impulses, and distractions for the sake of something greater. When a man protects something, he is telling the world, this matters more than my convenience. That is why this key is so important, because it reveals the depth of his loyalty. A man cannot protect what he does not value, and he will never risk what he sees as irreplaceable. A man stays loyal when he feels respected, understood, and aligned with his purpose, because these three things speak directly to the core of who he is. Men are built to move with direction. They need to feel that their presence has meaning and that their efforts matter. Respect, understanding, and purpose are not just emotional needs. They are the foundation a man stands on. When these elements are present, loyalty becomes natural, effortless, and consistent. When they are missing, a man feels disconnected, unseen, or unappreciated, and his loyalty becomes shaky, not because he is weak, but because he no longer feels grounded. Respect is the first layer. It is not about bowing down to him or feeding his ego. It is about recognizing the weight he carries and appreciating the